channel. My name is Yetunde. I run an online fashion school, a made to measure and ready to wear brand in Lagos, Nigeria that can be delivered to anywhere in the world. Our online class can also join from anywhere in the world. So today I am going to be talking about how to get a zipper line without crease. That means the zipper line will not have a crease. That means the back zip. You know, some back zips will have fold, but you can achieve the one without fold. So the first thing I will be talking about is the measurement. Yeah, you need to understand that our measurement in the front is not the same with the back. That is, our front half length is not the same with the back half length. So I'm just going to use a mannequin for the explanation. So this is a mannequin here. So I'm just going to be using this as an explanation for it. So obviously when you measure from the shoulder line passing through the bust, you can tie a strip around your waistline. And where's your waistline? Your waistline is the smallest part of your body. When you bend, you see that there's a fold on one part. That place where that bends, that's where you can tie a strip, a wire strip or a fabric or even a tape rope around that part. That's your waist. So that's why I've tied a strip around this mannequin's waist, which is the smallest part of the body. So you measure from the front, passing the bust. Your measurement has to pass the bust all the way to the strip. Now this is a 14.5. I'm going to measure from the back, and the back will definitely give me something different. So from the back, all the same, we have 12.5. So that is to say, normally on the human bodies, there's always a difference of 1.5 or 2 inches. But if you don't even measure it, you can just stay safe by using 1 inch. So your front bodies and your back bodies is definitely different. If you want to try it, you can tie a strip on your body and do the measurement. So that's about the measurement. Now on to the draft. Yeah. So you can do this. Well, you can do this directly on your fabric, or you can try it on your fabric or on the basic bodies. I hope you can see. So this is my basic bodies. So this is my basic bodies. The back bodies, yeah. The back bodies is different from the front bodies. This is the basic bodies that has a 2-inch zipper allowance. We're going to alter this 2 inches. Note that when you're working with something like this, your zip allowance should just be 1 inch, nothing more than that. Yeah. So the first thing is, this is the defined bodies. You have the chest line, you have the bust point line, we have the waistline, we have the hip line, and we have the hem line. It is a dress bodies. Yeah. It is short dresses body. So we have everything well defined, and this is the 2 inches sewing allowance. I fold it back and then I use the 2 inches folding allowance, zipper allowance. Yeah. So once you take that to your bodies, all you need to do is on your waistline, you're going to measure 1 inch off, or the difference between your front half length and your back half length. Now my own is always like 1.5. The bustier you have, the more difference you would have. If you don't have much bust, you might have not much difference. But to be on the safe side, if you don't do pattern drafting and you don't tie a strip, have different various ways of measuring for pattern draft. So that's just a tip for measuring front half length, which is from the shoulder to the back. So this person's front half length is a 15.5 that I already have from the front block. So once you do that, just mark 1 inch allowance. Just mark 1 inch up from the center back. Just mark 1 inch up at the center back. 1 inch. Once you mark that 1 inch, if you find that the difference is more than 1 inch, let's say 1.5, you can mark it. But if you're scared of the difference, you can just leave it at 1 inch. So that 1 inch up, draw it all the way to the side. Yeah. Please note that if you are drawing, if your bodice has the sewing allowance, please take away the sewing allowance. Now this one has the sewing allowance of 1.5. I'm going to take out the sewing allowance. So I'm drawing the 1 inch back to my normal bodies. Why am I doing that? Because this sewing allowance, I'm going to sew it out. If I draw it to this place, then that means this side might not meet the front when I'm sewing. So I'm just going to draw the panel to meet my original body, which is what my waist into for without the allowance. So once you do now, this is only applicable to dresses that will have cut on the waistline. There's going to be a straight dress that will not have any cut on the waistline. Then you don't need to do this, because if you cut it, what happens? So this is just applicable for any dress that has a cut on the waistline. So once you do this, so by the time you are cutting, instead of you to cut on the waistline, you're going to be cutting right from this line. So this, we're going to eliminate it. So that means your waistline, you cut it from here, and the down part continues from here. You don't need to, maybe because you cut up now, add more to this one. So once you cut like this, Yeah, once we cut like this, I'm going to cut it out. You don't need this down part again. This is going to be taken out because it's not part of your measurement. So that way, you know why your zip has a fold. Your zip is having a fold because there's more fabric in this place. This is not supposed to be in it. So with that part, you have a fold. If you look at the human bodies here, we have a bend at this back. So that bend is not the same with this one. So by the time you don't take out this back allowance, that's why you'll be having that fold of this fabric. So you have to take out this so that your zipper will not have a crease or a fold. And yeah, now there's another thing we also do. Just like how the front has your curves, the back has curves. Your back has curves. There's a curve here, and then there is definitely your the curve after your bone line. So what we can do to achieve that on the dress is to on the waistline, once you draft. Okay, now I've added 1.5 inch sewing allowance. I'm going to take out ½ inch and bring it to the center back. So I'm going to transfer that ½ inch to the center back. So now since this is my new waistline, I'm going to take it out on this waistline. Yeah, so that ½ inch, once you do that, you just ease it in with I can use my hip curve, any slight curve. Yeah, so you just ease it back into the back bodice. You just ease it back. So from that ½ inch, I ease it back into the main bodies. Yeah, so you're going to have that 1 inch up, and then this is ½ inch. So part of your allowance, you will take it from here. This will help your back to have the curve, and after that one, you will see I marked that half on the hip line, and you also blend it back to the hip line. So from that ½ inch, you're going to take that curve, slight curve, nothing too dramatic. I blend it back to the hip line here. Don't forget that this is not part of what we're doing when we're cutting. So I blend back gradually, nothing, just blend it, ease it into it wherever you can. Yeah, okay, so I blend back now. This one I blend it back to the bust point. You can blend it in to reach the bust line, that's fine. Then this one to blend it back to the hip line. Now don't forget I said I added 1.5. So at the end of the day, I've removed ½ inch. I've moved it here. So that means my sewing allowance here is what? It's just 1 inch, so that I can have a curve at the back. Another thing you can do on the neckline is, if you're going to have a high neck, you see that some people, there's also a little bend on our shoulder at the back. You're going to have a high neck. If you have a low neck, it will take care of it. But if you have a high neck, you can just take 0.25 away from your neckline. 0.25 away from your neckline, and same thing, you blend it out to the bust point. So 0.25, you blend it out to the bust point. Taking another curve, I'm blending out to the chest line. Sorry, that's where the armhole ended. So 0.25. Now please note that this should only be done. Necessarily doesn't have to reach the chest line. Just blend it in comfortably to wherever the blend can get. Now this is just for if you're going to do the high neck. This is like an 1 inch neck. Now you take out that 0.25. It's not compulsory, it's very optional. So we're already forming our back. The last one we want to do is defining the bone. You know, our bone has if you want to do just like how we used to do pencil skirts or pencil dresses, you can also pencil it at the center back. That's why you see some people, it's like the bone effect. I've done something about how you can do hip and bone padding. If you want to do hip and bone padding, or if you don't want to do it, another thing you can do is creating the bone effect. That is, if you stand and at the back, there is a bend here, so you can create that bend. Okay, so doing that, just take your basic bodice, and in the middle of your hip line to the hem of the dress. Now please note that this is the middle of the hip line, and the skirt is, this is 16, so that's an 8 inches. Another thing you can do is also measure from the shoulder you can measure from your shoulder line to your underbone. Underbone is where your bone ended. You can measure it to the underbone. It will also be close to half of hip line and the above knee length. But this half hip line can only be done on hip line to above the hip length. Yeah, so once we have done that, now we have 8 inches. At that 8 inches, going by, you can do depending on how you have your bone. If you don't have much bone, you can do 0.5. If you have like a better bone, you can do 0.75. So for this bodice, I actually did 0.75. So that 0.75, you take that hip curve again, you go from the hip line, and then you bend to that part. So I'm going to blend it, and that's why you can get, if you see people that their dresses at the back is defining the bone, that's because they did bone shaping. So you do that from the hip line. So you can see all the lines that we've derived. 0.25 here, we blend it out to the bust line. Here we blend it in 0.5, and 0.5 same here, we blend it out. We blend it back to 0.75. This 0.75, you just take it straight down. So at this part now, I can use my straight ruler. So that 0.75, you just blend it, you just take it straight down. So this will affect what our zipper line would, what our zip allowance would look like. So once we are done with this now, we can now open the back and follow this body shaping. So that means our sewing allowance will be following the body shaping. So from here, I'll just be going 1 inch all the way, 1 inch all the way. So you can't do anything more than 1 inch. Now don't also forget that this 1 inch means you're going to sew in 0.5, and you'll use 0.5 for your zipper folding. Some people will even have just ½ inch, depends on the style you're using for your zipper sewing. Maybe another day I'll try and illustrate something like that. So 1 inch all the way for your zipper line, and I'm going to just link all the allowances up. I'm going to use my French, my hip curve, because some parts are also, they are curved. So you just follow the curve, yeah, not minding the fact that it is curved. Your body is actually curved, and it will conform with whatever curve you've done. This is how you can achieve something with your back body not having any folds. Okay, the back body is not having. So I just draw my allowance. I think there's 1 inch. Some people would even do ½ inch, but like I said, that's dependent on the type of zip you're doing. So that's the wrap, and I'm just going to be cutting like that. So obviously I'll be cutting on my allowance, which is 1 inch sewing allowance. You can see that it's looking curvy, but that's because our back has curves. Don't forget the optional things I said, okay? So that's the wrap of this now. Now there's other things you need to note. If it's going to be a dress, a long dress without cut at hip line, you can leave it like this. So you face ½ inch with your lining, and then the ½ inch, the remaining ½ inch is what you use to hold your zip. So you're just going to hold your zip with ½ inch. Following the curve, the way the curve is the way you do your facing. Just the way the curve is also the way you face your zip on it. Just ½ inch. So your zip should not take, the zip sewing should not take more than ½ inch. And some people, if they fix their zip like let's say invisible zip, and they don't, you can just add ½ inch. There's a way you can fix your zip with ½ inch, and there will be no fabric folding. But if you want fabric to fold in, you add 1 inch. You face with half, and you fold in your zipper line. Your zipper line is going to sew here. So obviously you're going to come back to sew this. So ½ inch for facing, ½ inch for this folding where you now put your zip. So if you don't want any folding, if you want your zip to just stand like this without any fabric folding inside, you just add ½ inch to do it, to face your lining. And I think that's a lot. So if it's going to be a long dress that will not have any cut on the waistline, leave it like this. You don't need to remove this, you will just walk. And another thing that helps to remove this crease is if your neck is low. If your neck is low, what is supposed to fold here, your neck can take it out. But if your neck is not low, you end up seeing it. So but if you're going to have a cut on the waistline for a perfect fit, which most long dresses will have, we're going to cut our waistline 1 inch above the waistline. So we'll come like this, and then we're going to cut this out. It doesn't affect anything, yeah? So that means this is how our back body is. Now this is taking care of the space you have, the curve you have at the back. So once you have something like this, by the time you're sewing it back, you're just going to, it's going to come back to be like this, which is how the back body should be. Now this one, your zipper will be very straight. It's not going to have any crease, and then I think you should be fine with that. Now with this curve too, you are creating the bond effect, the shaping at the center back of your dress. Now this 0.5 you can still increase it depending on the size. 0.75 you can do for size 10 and 12, or anything more than size 12 you can use like a 1 inch. So I think this can help you to take out the back fold of your allowance. Thank you for watching our videos. You should subscribe to our channel. We'll be coming up with more things, so you don't miss any of our videos. Like our page, drop your comments, and bye for now.